Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner broker of Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty, and the host of the program. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Colorado's Real Estate Authority, Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb is an author. Barb's also a pilot, and Barb and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have to offer. Barb, always great to be talking with you. Now, we air Your Real Estate Voice every Saturday. If you can't listen to the entire show, it is always available on Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or just go ahead and search for Barb. You'll find her on most popular podcast platforms like iHeartRadio. Every week, Your Real Estate Voice covers great information about the housing market and one of your largest assets, your home. Barb, what are we talking about today?
Well, Richard, I'm excited as always about today's show because I like being able to share with people kind of insider secrets about real estate so they can benefit from the information I provide. Because a lot of agents, excuse me, a lot of agents won't tell you half the stuff. And I think it's good to know because most people don't sell a home or buy a home very often. And when they do, they want to be armed with the right tools. So that's why I do this, and I really enjoy it. So the first topic we're going to cover is, will home prices come down in 2026? And most of the nerds are saying yes, it's going to come down. It could be substantial. So I think that makes sense. The market has been relatively flat. So we've got double the inventory, but the same amount of buyers. And I will tell you, um, buyers are basically buying on house payment for the most part. If they can afford the payment, then they're definitely going to be buying houses. They didn't stop buying. They're not going to stop buying. There are an awful lot of buyers sitting on the sidelines just waiting for the right house and or the right price and or the right interest rate. So it could reverse the direction as far as values. It is possible that we might see prices correct a little bit and then the rates come down and all of a sudden those buyers sitting on the sidelines come out of the woodwork. I think that's very possible for next year. The next topic we're going to cover is how to negotiate the best price when selling a house. I think you'll be surprised at this one. I get, I'm waiting to have a week where I don't learn something. And I am surprised every week at some of the stuff that happens with my practice. So what we're going to be talking about is just give some examples of negotiations. And I've learned now not to make any assumptions about what people know because they don't do this every day. So I'll give you some of my favorite tips about how to negotiate the best price when selling a house. The third topic is about how to estimate what a house will sell for in Colorado. So here's the thing. A lot of people, most of the home sellers, of course, want the most money. Not all of them. There are some that they're like, I want you to sell it fast. There's some of them that like, I want the most money and I'll wait for it. I don't have to sell. It doesn't matter to me how long it takes. So there are those. But I'd say a majority of people kind of land in the range of, I want to be realistic and reasonable. The question is, what is that number? And I think that's where we're seeing a lot of difficulty in the industry because more than half of the home sellers end up lowering their price after they go on the market. Why is that? It wasn't appropriately priced in the first place, or they were asking too much. The very last topic we're going to talk about is how to choose a real estate agent when selling a house. And as always, I love talking about hot new listings. Richard?
Barb, with the rates not changing, there are fewer buyers that can afford a home. How do you sell a home with fewer buyers to choose from?
Well, Richard, everybody thinks, and this what you hear on the press all the time, that okay, the Fed's going to lower rates and that'll mean lower mortgage rates. But unfortunately, that has not been true. The 30-year fixed interest rate has been relatively the same now since February or March. The highest it was in the past year was 7.5%. Right now it's 6.32% for a 30-year conventional loan, and about just above 6 for a VA or FHA loan. Okay, so it's been very stable for interest rates, but that has not gotten the buyers off the couch to come buy homes. It's just not working. And every time we see the Fed drop their interest rates of how the banks get money a little bit, sometimes it works backwards and the mortgage rates go up. So there's not really any rhyme or reason from what the Fed does and what the mortgage interest rates do. But at the end of the day, big picture, we have higher inventory. The number of sales is relatively flat. And if you look just kind of locally in different markets, I'll pick El Paso County because that's kind of where I center most of my business. The median list price has dropped by $30,000 since August 8th. That's a big amount of money. I mean, if the median list price is in the fives, that's really more than 5%, probably more like 6 or 7. The average days on market continues to increase. So just from last week to this week, it went up to 108 days. It was 106 last week. So I'm seeing these numbers get worse and worse as time goes on. Now, there is a strategy to deal with a market that's correcting. We know how to do it. Not every agent knows how to do it. And we're also looking backwards on some data. So we're just coming off of a government shutdown. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. During all that time, the mortgage rates stayed the same, but there are a lot of people that weren't getting paychecks, especially in this market. So it's going to take some time for that to recoup, and we might see a little bit of improvement. We are seeing inventory up, but relatively flat since a few weeks ago. And I think higher mortgage rates at these, what some people think are artificially high prices, really crush the affordability for the potential buyers to buy homes. If you think about it, if you go out and you buy a home, even if you use a VA loan, you might get a 6% interest rate at this time. A $400,000 house, which is by no means the median. The median is about 525 right now. To get a $400,000 house VA with zero down, your payment's going to be about $3,000 a month. That's a lot of money. In fact, that's probably more than what you could get, what you would pay for in rent. And that's partially, probably by, gosh, 800 or 1,000 a month. And that's partially why a lot of buyers are sitting on the sidelines saying, it's just not affordable to me. And I think that's part of the problem. The other problem that we have, which is kind of a catch-22 for people that want to move up or move down from their current house, is many of them are sitting on a really low interest rate. It's so fun to talk to people. I talked to one yesterday that told me his mortgage rate did not have a 2 in front of it. It had a 1 in front of it. So that's crazy to have maybe 1.9 or 1.75% interest on a mortgage. And then if they go and buy another home, they're going to be paying 6%. So it's causing a lot of people that are looking to move up or move down also sit on the sidelines and not put their homes on the market, because when they buy their next home, it's going to be more expensive, even though they have equity. Now, I heard through the grapevine, I don't know if it's true or not, that they're talking about one of their creative ideas was to let people take their current mortgage with them to their next house at the low rate, which would be really cool. I think it would probably, boost the market just a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. The other thing that's going on right now is the builders and the lenders are often offering incentives. If you walk into new construction, they'll be like, well, you can get our package if you use our loan, and we'll give you a lower than market interest rate. We'll give you 2 or 3% to pay all your loan closing costs, right? So when you get those kind of incentives, it's really tough for a buyer to say no to that, because they make it easier to buy. So they've gotten really good at that. And some of the lenders and some of the sellers that are actually doing that are winning as well. And then you want to make sure that you know how to hire an agent to create demand. I would say right now, probably about 20 to 30% of my listings right now are getting multiple offers. And it's partly because I have a corporate seller that does price homes, a couple of corporate sellers that do price homes what I call very realistically. So buyers are constantly looking for the best buy in their price range, and they will overlook condition issues if it is the best buy. So there are bidding wars, but it's only if the home is priced right. And so how do you sell if you're a regular live in the home buyer and you want the most money? Well, first of all, it takes preparing the home for sale. Number one, you want to make sure that the buyers don't have anything to criticize your house about. And I will tell you, they're getting extremely critical right now. If the carpet's a little worn, they're going to turn their nose up at it. If it's got popcorn ceilings, they're going to turn their nose up at it. If it's dated, they're going to be making comments like that. And so when you get feedback like that, it tells me that the buyers didn't say yes to your home because they are finding better buys out there. It doesn't mean that there's really anything majorly wrong with the house. It just means probably that it's priced a little bit high for its condition as compared to what other homes that they can get out there at this time. And then you want to make sure absolutely that you hire somebody that knows how to properly promote the home, because your first showing is on the internet. And guess what? If the buyers don't like what they see on the internet, they are going to vote with their feet. They will not drive to your house and go look at it if it's not the best deal. There are some situations, though, that sellers will actually lower the price to make buyers bring offers. So there's some situations or some houses that might need to be priced what I call way more realistically than similar homes around them. And actually the corporate sellers are really good at this. So they will, if they can see it needs condition issues, if it needs repairs, if it needs carpet, even if the plumbing's not working, those homes, because of the way they price them, are all getting bidding wars. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And we're talking about where we think the prices are going to go in 2026. And next up, we're going to touch on what you should do in this market if you are thinking of making a move. My name is Barb, and if you would like to talk to us about selling your home, that's what we do for folks all the time. We have over 23,345 buyers in waiting just on our little website. Give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard.
Barb, we're discussing what home buyers and home sellers can expect the real estate market to look like in 2026. What are your sources predicting?
Well, my sources are actually predicting that we're going to see a pretty good drop. I did some analysis looking at both what Zillow predictions are and then another data source that promotes buyers and investors. Both of them indicate the market values are going to go down next year, and it varies according to zip code, and it varies between Zillow and my data source. So Zillow is pretty much more optimistic than my data source. The data source was able to prove in other markets that they were really accurate with their predictions. So there is a strategy that you can deploy when the market is correcting, and we know how to do that. So if you'd like to find out how to sell your home in any market and you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you're thinking of making a move, simply call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a break, but when we come back, we'll be discussing how to negotiate the best price when you're selling a home. Barb's got that for you when we come back.